Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is SidAlpha, and I'm coming to you tonight with another episode of Is It Worth It? Tonight we're looking at Magicka 2, a game that was released by Paradox Interactive and is self-styled most irreverent RPG game in the world. Now, first thing you will notice with Magicka 2 is this A button, or what I discovered to later find is to be the space bar in order to even get into the game. The way they put the icon on the space bar there is clearly designed for a mobile device or some type of keypad with a mobile device, and of course the A button would be for a controller as well. Okay, we'll just go ahead and skip that. Confirm. Alright, so here we are in the menu screen of Magicka 2. We're going to go ahead and take a quick look at the settings. First off, we have show spell reticles, player names, player GUIs, status effects, vibration, all pretty basic stuff. Audio menu is also extremely basic, and the graphics menu is also extremely basic. One thing you will notice here is there is no option or any way for you to rebind keys in any way, shape, or form. As I've found out through going through the process of this game, it is, in fact, designed for mobile devices and pretty much nothing else. It appears that the PC port was not a complete one. They didn't think the process all the way through from what I saw. We'll go ahead and pop in here. I'll choose a different familiar than what I did last time. Let's see, we have Murray that boosts damage, and Pit Manager boosts elements at random. I think we'll go with Murray. Yeah, I like Murray. Nice floating head. That'll work. We'll keep it on normal difficulty for the purpose of this. Here is where you would invite other people to join you. You can have up to 3 people join you in your campaign as well. And this game is designed for multiplayer. It really is. You can play through it in single player, but multiplayer is the preferred way. Okay, yeah, we'll see. We'll try and skip through this here. Nope, not pause. Skip through. There we go. All right. So here's where we meet Vlad, who is, of course, a vampire. And we'll just skip through that. Okay, so here's the game interface. Basically, the way you move around in this game is basically you hold down your left mouse button and drag, or you click on different areas, and it will move you towards that point. As you can see down in the lower left hand corner, we don't have any of them lit up quite yet, but that is where you choose your spells. One thing to remember is you can chain spells or stack them for increased efficacy. See, healing with one spell there, and then we'll plop it up to max, and you can see that it actually does a fair amount more. Same can be said with all the other spells. The more you stack them up, the more damage they will do. And overall, the graphics layout of this game really isn't bad at all. I was actually expecting it to be a little bit worse. And one thing with this Earth spell, yeah, if you hold on to it, it increases speed, which increases the damage. Quite nice. Oh, caught myself on fire there. Not a problem. Just blast that guy. Heal up real quick and move on. Oh, okay. Now, one thing you do have to remember is when you're doing something like this actually does have an AoE effect, and I just killed myself. Isn't that awesome? You will notice this game does not do a whole heck of a lot of hand-holding, and you will die a lot unless you're used to these styles of games, which I am not. Go ahead and just fire hose our way through this. And on to the next tutorial challenge. Come on. There we go. You will be able to interact with most NPCs in the game. I shouldn't say interactive, but most NPCs in the game do have something to say. A lot of them are actually quips or hat tips to movies and other video games and things of that nature. Conjure up a shield here. Oh. Alright, so we'll just shield up and run straight through here instead of trying to change mid-run. There we go. And so it does behoove you to at least click on as many of the villagers as you can, because a lot of them do have some fairly amusing things to say. Now, I did think this was a loading screen up until I realized we had this press space to continue down there. As this game was designed solely for mobile devices, there really is no load time to speak of. The game does load extremely fast on PC. Let's see, we'll see what we can do to blast these guys here. Boom. Alright. And of course you can use things like your ice spell to freeze the water, so you'll be able to walk over the top of it. That also opens up some secret areas. Now, one other thing that you might notice here is it says conjure lightning by pressing A. Then press up arrow and the middle mouse button near the machines up ahead to zap both simultaneously. Now, this actually confused me quite a bit. Because we press A, we get the lightning, and then we hold down the up arrow. Let's see. Yeah, we hold down the up arrow, and we accidentally zap ourselves. It actually took me a few moments to realize that as this game was designed around mobile devices, it may have meant the up arrow on a mobile device's keypad, which actually translates out to be the left shift key. I wish they would have at least changed the layout for the PC port, but apparently they couldn't be bothered. So just to prove that, yep, left shift key. So we will conjure some lightning up here, hold down left shift, middle mouse, and sure enough, it works like a charm. So again, this is a port from mobile devices to the PC, and apparently a somewhat incomplete one at that. Now, that being said, this game, actually, I didn't enjoy it at first, but I've actually started to grow to at least be able to garner a little amount of enjoyment out of it. But you have to bear in mind, this type of game is not my cup of tea. I'm much more of a larger RPG or RTS style games, things like that. And this type of mobile game typically does not hold much interest for me. However, I would like to say that the game has run fairly flawlessly, and I haven't encountered any bugs to speak of, so it is pretty stable. When they ported it to PC, it looks like they did do a pretty good job. I just wish they had relabeled the buttons to match up with a standard keyboard and mouse layout. Also, maybe some minor tweaking to the game interfaces would help a fair amount for keyboard and mouse, but you can, with a little bit of practice, work around it. Alright, we're going to ignore that training dummy. I've already gone through the tutorial once before. It's dangerous to go alone with up to 3 friends. Not quite sure what they mean there. I figure it would be safer to go along with 3 friends. But okay. So, as I was saying, the game has been fairly stable. It's not a bad game for the style of game it is. It is not my personal cup of tea, but it's gotten a couple of smiles, if not chuckles, out of me from a few moments. First few playthroughs, I did get my butt thoroughly kicked, as I'm completely unfamiliar with this style of gameplay. And but once I once I started getting used to it, I was starting to do pretty well. And so, the game can be a fair amount of challenge. For people who are used to this style of interface, the normal game mode setting will probably be far too easy. It's just fine for me for the moment until I get used to the interfaces, and then I'd probably crank the difficulty up to a higher setting. So overall, not a bad game. I wouldn't, like I said, as it's not my personal preference, I wouldn't go along recommending it to anyone. But if you are a fan of this style of game, then you would probably garner a good amount of enjoyment out of it. It is fairly irreverent, as they advertise, and it does have several goofy moments and a lot of interesting one-liners. So, that being said, this has been Magicka 2 by Paradox Interactive. It is available on Steam for $15 or your regional equivalent. I am SidAlpha. Please remember to like, favorite, subscribe, and don't forget to share. And I'll see you next time.